about that. We're back. I like my smaller ruler for this. It's just more convenient. And this is a really good way for you to kind of determine also if your stitching is on par, because when I put my ruler on here to cut down the middle, if my 1/4 inch line goes right along the stitching line, I'm doing good. Best thing is if somehow you're stitching and you kind of get a bubble in there, or you didn't quite get a 1/4 inch close to this line, it's better to go ahead and rip it out now and redo the stitching rather than wait till later. I mean, if you're just like a millimeter off, or you know, something like that, it's not as big of a deal. But if you're really off on your line here, do it before you cut it. Fix it before you cut it. You'll save yourself plenty of headaches later. Ask me how I know. Okay, so then we take these squares and we cut them right up the middle. Get that one little thread in the center there. And this is when it happens when I forget to change my blade. There we go. So here we have our half square triangles. We're just going to do this again on the second one here. That was much better. So then we have, each square will give us 2 half square triangles, and we'll need them for the next step. Okay, so the next step is, here are my, I'm just going to take my 2 half square triangles. You're going to want to press to the darker fabric. So when I do this, I just kind of push it up a little bit and give it a little finger press, and then I will hit it with a dry iron. I don't want to hit it with a steam iron right off the bat, because I really do not want to stretch any bias edges here and distort the block. So then we do that. We're going to press it with a hot iron, which I don't have in here, but you know what, this will work. So I finger press these, but yes, I have more samples. So here are my pressed blocks, just a few of them. I think that ends up with like 48 of them, but it looks great. And then all we have to do is go ahead and trim our dog ears. I'll trim a couple, because then we can move on to the next step. And I'm not nearly as efficient at this as some others I've seen, who can just whip, whip, whip. Now the lovely thing about this pattern is it takes your normal churn dash block, and it gives a little of that something something extra, and when you put it together, it actually creates a secondary pattern in the inside, which I happen to like. I happen to love secondary patterns. It's always very fun for me to do that. So I know this is boring watching me do this, but it is a necessary step. Okay, so here we have all our, at least some of our half square triangles ready to go. Now, clean up real quick. The next thing we're going to do is fabric. The next fabric we have is a square. You have to look in the pattern. The pattern is available, will be available on our site as of the 1st of February. And you're going to orient your block so that the lavender triangle of the half square triangle is on the top left. And I don't have any pins in here. Of course I don't. So let me go get my pins. And I will do that. And what we're going to be doing though is we're going to be stitching not on either side of the line. We're going to be just stitching on that line right here. And I will probably stitch just a hair to the top of it here when I do it. Because then what's going to happen is we're going to cut this off at 1/4 inch on this side of the line and then flip up our corner so that we have a nice little darkened corner there. So we'll have our white and our 2 color half square triangles. So give me 2 seconds and I will get those pins